Hello from the Busy Needle. Today we're going to have a machine minute on the Singer 15. The Singer 15 was the most successful machine model of all time. It was made over 80 years. It was made from 1880s until the 1960s, so it was in production maybe 85 years. Very common. You'll find these at yard sales, thrift sales, tag sales, estate sales. I think this one came from a thrift store if I remember correctly. And they were made by the millions for 85 years. So sometimes people think they're wildly special or antique because it's an old Singer. That is not so, especially in the case of the Singer 15. They're out there everywhere. Now this machine was sometimes called the farmer's wife machine because it did it all. As long as it was a straight stitch. It can make a baby dress, hem your husband's overalls, sew up a tear in your son's pants, make a Christmas costume for the church Christmas special, or maybe even sew up a tarp to cover the woodpile. If you could get it under here and get the needle on it, it could sew it up. It was not known for its finesse. It was known for making a straight stitch and only a straight stitch, and it did it well. It's a very easy to use machine. It uses what we call class 15 bobbins in a bobbin case that go under here. It goes under here. Here's an example of the bobbin case. These are still very easy to find. Here's a bobbin. Keep in mind, Singer ran the industry. They drove industry. Many machines, many companies use the class 15 bobbin, different brands. And you can buy these. Here's a 4-pack. These were picked up at Walmart for around $2. So they're very easy to get. Uses the basic needle. Also, that can be bought at Walmart called the Universal. It can use a jeans needle, which is a heavy-duty needle. It can use a smaller needle, whatever you're sewing. The same needles that you use in a modern machine. Also, Singer pioneered this interchangeable system. This is a low shank presser foot, and these are modern presser feet that have been bought recently that go on this machine. So you can buy parts for this machine everywhere still, even though this machine is much, much older. This particular machine is a 1933 model, and I know that by looking up the serial number you'll find here. I name all my machines, and this one's named Maxine. I use her a lot for quilting. I mean, I've quilted queen size quilts on here using different type of presser feet. I can just put them under here and she chews right through it. Maxine is a great little lady for that. Let's take a look at her if you're interested in older machines like I always am. Notice she has been used. This baby, she has sewn no telling how many thousands, maybe millions of yards of fabric. Notice her decals around the bed are missing right here. And there's a lot of damage to them at the back. There's scratches here where things have been run under. Her needle, so she has been used in her lifetime. She's not sat around very long, not doing anything. Also notice up here, the Singer is worn. You'll see this in a lot of older machines. Ladies would actually put sew fabric around the top of the machine to put their pins in. And we call this pin rash. And she's got a pretty good case of it here on top. This pin rash that was underneath a piece of fabric where the lady stuck her pins for years over and over, stuck them in, took them out. You might say, well, why do you like this machine? This machine, like I told you, I use it for quilting. It is great for visibility. I mean, there's a large, what we call throat space, or sometimes harp space here between the needle and the pillar, and I can roll up a quilt and get it through here, back and forth. I can wrestle it through here, and it goes pretty well. Also, notice this is very small here. A modern machine, there's so much going on. There's so many buttons, dials, switches, so much more technology that this is so large you can't see much about where your needle is and where things are going. So that's one reason that quilters are very wild about this machine. Another question people ask is, why was it in production so long? Well, Singer, when they made a machine and then they came out with a new model, they didn't stop making the first model. So you could walk into a Singer store and buy a Singer 15 or several other models that were more modern and had more features. But they kept making the older machine, and many young women would come in and say, I want this machine, I want a 15, because it's what I learned on from my mother or from my grandmother's machine. So this machine stayed in production a long, long time. How will you know a 15 if you see one for sale? The number one characteristic to look for is the tension dial here on the nose plate. If it has that, it's a Singer 15. So, there's Machine Minute for today. I hope you all have a nice day, and God bless.